now to take a more detailed look at the implications of this jailbreak, which is just the latest in a long line of jailbreaks. And I'm being joined on the news at 10 now by retired Army Colonel Okosun. Thank you very much for joining us on the news at 10.
Thank you, Ladi.
It's not pleasant news. It highlights another aspect of the insecurity of the country. What do you make of this latest jailbreak?
Well, I see this as another one of what now has become a pattern of jailbreaks. Ladi, jailbreaks have always been there, the world over. Inmates have also attempted to break out of jail. But here we're having jailbreaks organized and aided from without.
That's it.
From outside. Well, I would want us to take a more cursory look at these jailbreaks. The first that was most curious was the Bauchi jailbreak, where you had Boko Haram elements invading prison
to free some of
the inmates. The one in Kogi was also engineered by elements desirous of freeing their colleagues inside the prison yard. Now, this is happening in Minna, and if you recall the recent skirmishes around that general area, I imagine that those who were arrested in those parts were put in Minna prison. I suppose so. So you are having another attack from without into the prison. So the pattern that is being formed now is that disaffected elements from outside are invading prisons. And why would they do that? They would do that because these prisons can be breached. As it stands, the prison detention facilities we have all over the country have outlived their usefulness.
Many of them are very old.
Absolutely old. Most of them are older than I am. And I have, in the course of duty, been to quite a number of prisons. Some of them you can...
On visit, though, not as...
No, to come on, as part of my duty, being to prisons. Now, there are some of these prisons that you can breach with a Land Rover. They are mud walls. Even the so-called maximum security prisons are not, in fact and indeed, maximum security prisons. That's why.
Now, what's to be done? Because usually when these things happen, the discussions usually center on what happened, how did it happen, why did it happen, and possibly identify one or two scapegoats for that particular incident. Yeah. But the more important question is left usually unasked or unanswered, which is, how do you prevent this? Because in this particular instance, this Minna one, the story, yet as unconfirmed, was that 2 inmates in particular, whose sentences, death sentences, were to be confirmed, were the ones who, so to speak, engineered this. Now, if it's been so easy, you remember the case of Vampire in Owerri, right there in the court premises with so much security. Although he was later recaptured. What's to be done next? People talk about either relocating the prisons or building new ones entirely. Given your own security background, which would you? What
would I do? Now, listen, lad, most of the prisons have to be relocated. Ilorin, for one, is smack in the center of town. The one in Yola is one that is the least acceptable to me. So you have to rebuild, redesign, and rebuild prison yards. That is the security, the dilemma you have out there is being sharpened now by these occurrences in this security space. The dilemma in the security space is being sharpened by the occurrences we're having now. So build the prisons, retrain the prison officials. Look, Ladi, equip them, and look, their welfare has to be looked into. The average prison officer is not well cared for. It's not well catered for. And equipment, the prison yards as we have them now don't have enough electronic equipment to monitor. What about early warning? They don't have early warning. Alarm systems. How are these? People must think about this. And even the prison staff, what weapons do they carry?
Yes, because I was going to ask that, why does it seem to be so easy?
Yes, because the weapons they carry are Second World War vintage. They can't cope with the kind
Well,
of...
you said they could be breached by Land Rover.
Oh, yeah,
That's
no.
already
So
saying
some of the walls can be breached, seriously. Some of the gates can be breached, yes.
But in the meantime, what are we supposed to do? Because some have said, look, while we're building new prisons and we're relocating the old ones to other places, decongesting the population. Because now you talk about 210 inmates escaping.
Yes.
I don't know what the facility capacity of Minna is. But if we take virtually all the prisons, they are overbusting with inmates.
Across board.
Which is a problem itself. Now,
Yes.
in that respect, would you say that some of those who are awaiting trial, for example, should be allowed to go be in other forms of detention or be allowed to come from home or something if their offenses are ordinarily easy offenses?
That's a question for the justice system now. You hear of people getting to police station and being thrown in prison for very, very trivial offenses. And you hear also judicial officers, judges going to court, going to the prison to free inmates. This should be done more regularly, decongest the prison. And I'm also told that there are no prisons that are not overpopulated. If you depopulate them, it still doesn't solve the problem, Ladi. Even if you depopulate them, you can still breach the prisons as they are today.
Thank you very much, Colonel Okosun, for joining us.
Thank you so much, Ladi.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.